This had to be done on purpose. So, guys, the Black Hawk helicopter that crashed into the American airline flight back in D.C. a few weeks ago, had to be done on purpose. Now, a lot of people are reporting it as that she ignored commands and she ignored warnings from air traffic controllers and her training officer, who was a warrant officer, a guy. So a lot of people are, the way they're reporting it, they're just making it sound like she missed this very important warning as she was coming into contact or ready to collide into the American Airlines jet. There's a ton of issues wrong with that whole thing. And the fact that they're trying to downplay it as if she might have accidentally stepped on air traffic controller at the same time her flight officer or her training officer hit the mic as well, that they both canceled out the air traffic controller's warning. But then on on audio, he warned her as well. So she got two warnings that she seemingly ignored. First of all, there's no ignoring anything when you're in aviation. Everything is paramount. Like you scanning visually, looking around. Now, they said she had night vision goggles. Still wouldn't have played a major role, being that you're still scanning. You're still looking around, right? No one is flying straight and not paying attention to anything around them. Plus, I'm not sure how these goggles are, but if she still has peripheral vision off-site, she could still see that giant light flying into them. So, I said it before in the video when that happened, that was weird. There was something off about it, and I had the feeling that she did it on purpose. But they're not saying she did it on purpose because they're trying to figure out why she ignored the warnings. Now, I'm going to say it straight out. It was done on purpose. Now with this finding is telling me everything I needed to know. I suspected she did it on purpose. I said that something was wrong with this in a past video about a few weeks ago. But now looking at this and looking at everything that was said, there was a 15-second warning. So 15 seconds, or 17 to 15 seconds before colliding with the American Airlines jet, she was given a heads up by air traffic control to descend and turn left, which would have avoided hitting the plane. Now, the plane was flying from their left, so turning left would have just veered right off of them. But some reason, they keep stating that she ignored it as if it wasn't her fault, and then trying to come up with all of these different reasons as to why. Now, yes, could she have hit her comms at the same time her flight training officer hit the comms and they canceled out air traffic control and they didn't see the they didn't hear the air traffic controller see anything? They could be so. But you still have visual. Even with your night vision goggles, you could still see this giant plane with these giant lights headed towards you. So, and I thought there was collision technology on these helicopters. To my knowledge, people have told me there are. So still, with all of that going on, and that there's still radar. Now, supposedly with night vision, you really can't see radar, if I'm not mistaken, or the lights are off or something like that. But you still had two people warn you. You still have your own vision. And if there's collision instruments on it, that should have went off as well, unless they turned that off, which I don't know why they would. So with all of that going on, it just feels like she did it on purpose. Now, they're trying to find out why she ignored it. I think they're going to find out why. They're going to sit there and they're going to deep dive into her life now, which they probably already did, but they're going to dive deeper now. They're going to look at her social media. They're going to look at anything that she might have wrote in a journal somewhere, in her home, and on base, wherever she was residing. They're going to look into this because this doesn't make sense. 15 seconds, guys, is a long time. You could do a lot in 15 seconds. And if you go to my live stream, I give you a sample of what 15 seconds is. 50 seconds is a long time before colliding into something, and especially when you can see it coming. It's not like she was in this entirely encapsulated, no windows device, and she was relying on somebody from the outside telling her where to move, and a radar system and a collision system. She still had visual of everything that's going on around her. With her night vision on, she could have seen this thing still coming out of this plane, this bright light. Now, after the collision, 67 people total passed away. If I'm not mistaken, it was 64 on the plane and then 3 people on the Black Hawk that went down. The jet tried to avoid the collision. If you look at the video again, there's 2 videos out there. There's one that's a little clearer as day where you see the plane's light move, and he's trying to move to his left, trying to completely avoid her. Which, if she's moving to her left and he moved to his left, they would have completely missed each other. At 15 seconds, if they would have both moved out of the way, they would have both missed each other by a long shot. Even if he didn't move, the airline, American Airlines, didn't move out of the way, she still would have missed them by a long shot had she acknowledged and then moved. But there's also a report that she did acknowledge, or they acknowledged, but she still didn't move. 15 seconds. So what was it? She could have been suicidal. That could have been one of the... She could have absolutely been like, you know what, screw this, I'm ending it, and right into the plane. Because she made no adjustments whatsoever. According to the flight logs or plans and the black box, there was no maneuvering of any kind. She just went straight into the jet. The jet tried to maneuver out of the way. Again, why did she do it? That is the bigger question. Why did she ignore it? That is the bigger question, and they're probably not going to like the answer. Other than this, guys, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching the Angry Truth channel.